Welcome back to our coverage of the 2015 Spring Playoffs and Game 4 between Team Liquid and Cloud9. Right now, the series stands at 2-1 for Team Liquid, and they are within arm's reach of making history by securing their first appearance in a playoff finals. So the big question is, how are they going to do that?
I think they need to take some of the weight off of Piglet's shoulders. I did not like the Protect the Cog comp. I want to see Team Liquid able to play around Phoenix and play around Quas. Quas is routinely given the junk lane. It's like, just deal with it. Go try to farm and try to survive. That's okay, but they can't do that to Quas and to Phoenix. Phoenix hard carried game 2 on Azir. I want to see him get maybe a lane counter pick, maybe a hard carry, maybe an assassin, but something that allows Phoenix to shine because he is great in the playoffs so far. Get him off the Lulus.
Yeah, but that last comp they ran was kind of their bread and butter, the Protect the Piglet that they've been recently using to great success, pretty much just stomping people with it. And it didn't work out there. And I think a lot of that was the Scion pick into the Hecarim and then not having Phoenix on something that's supplemental damage. So I want to see them change that, possibly still run the Lulu top, though.
Now, when we move into this matchup, Cloud9, Team Liquid, Zion, which lane are you looking for to make the big difference? Which lane is going to be the deciding factor in this game?
When you look at the series, you see a lot of the times that the solo lanes are determined by how the draft goes. So when High gets that quirky, he's the one pressuring mid lane. When Phoenix is on Azir, he's the one pressuring mid lane. Whoever's on Hecarim is pressuring top lane, but then bottom lane always comes down to the jungle pressure and how the jungle pressure affects who gets ahead. Is it going to be Piglet or is it going to be Sneaky? And I think it's going to come down to who pressures bottom lane better in game. And the solo lanes are already going to be determined by draft, I feel.
All right, well, we'll see how everything goes here. Team Liquid again ahead 2-1 in the series. We're going to throw it over to the caster desk to get us onto the rift. But first, Phoenix says in good times and bad, Team Liquid rely on Xpecial to be their voice of reason.
저랑 돔은 약간 자만 그런 거 할 수 있는 캐릭터긴 한데 그때마다 엑스페셜이 컴다운하고 자꾸 계속 경기 남았다고 집중하라고 계속 긴장 풀지 말라고 계속 엑스페셜이 도와줍니다, 옆에서.
I feel like that's one of those things that easily backfires, like when Fnatic tells Huni not to yell and then he's just screaming his head off all game. It's one of those things you can kind of mitigate.
I mean, Piglet even did say in the video feature we got to see at the start of the day how he's been through it all. So he knows what it's like to be up in a series and have it go all the wrong direction. So a little bit of a fact check here for these guys. They got to make sure they do not get reverse swept in this series.
Well, we'll see what they have coming into this game. Team Liquid definitely thrown off the mark a little bit with the picks and bans of Cloud9 last time. So we'll see if they can right that wrong and if Cloud9 can still get the comfort champions that Team Liquid wants to play on. They did a very nice job last game and throughout the game. There wasn't much falter that we saw in games 1 and 2 from Cloud9. See if they now can keep that momentum.
I don't expect a ban change from Team Liquid.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like the bans weren't the issue last game. It was the order in which they drafted. Now with the side swap as well, should add an interesting new dynamic to these pick and ban phases. Cloud9 might end up keeping their bans the same from Game 3 as well, if they decide to Urgot last ban here.
There is the Rumble. Balls will not get that, and Hecarim goes out. This leaves the Lulu up, the possibility for that composition once again, but also more. Still have Scion.
I don't think that High plays Urgot.
It leaves it open for Team Liquid and Phoenix to do it. But this could be another one of these bans. A lot of times, you come into these best-of-5 series with a set of assumptions about what the other team is strong on.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's true, sometimes it is not true. They planned on letting them get through the Lulu. A lot of times when Cloud9 lets you get one of your favorite picks, it's because they have something for it.
Right.
They tried it last time with Lulu. Now they're trying with the Urgot, which, see if they can go 2 for 2 on that.
Almost got Liquid to get the entire team they wanted instead of just a pick. They played that one in the mind games really, really well.
First pick, blind pick, Urgot.
Yep, and Cloud9 is definitely taking their time as well. They know this is going to be a longer game. They need a tank as well that can stick in that fight, and Sneaky's going to take his Lucian in this game as well. A lot of comfort in that.
Yeah, Cloud9 going back to their old mainstay, the Maokai in the top lane, the most reliable of tanks for the top lane for balls. I don't know about this one because Team Liquid are already showing, because they have first pick Urgot, that it flexes the possibility of doing a full tank team where every member on the team is an unviable target. Even their DPS coming from the mid lane is going to get fairly tanky in the late game. With the Lulu added on top, they will be able to add shields on top of shields here. So Cloud9 are going to have some way to crack through and actually kill someone.
Team Liquid can do the same thing here that they did last game, but just a better variation.
Exactly. They actually have damage this time.
Yeah, they can just
with the Urgot.
They could bring Kog'Maw, Janna with their last 2 picks.
Very
and
easily.
Better initiation, better poke damage, better damage overall, and also having Phoenix on someone who can bully lane.
And this time, Cloud9 do not have the heck room to work with for balls. They don't have that pressure. Maokai is not someone who creates a foothold for you on the map.
Great pickup in Gragas as well. Can really stop Phoenix or whoever tries to get those ults in from Urgot. Nice disengage there. We were saying earlier, not a lot of junglers bringing that, but it is going to be coming from Gragas in the recent pickups. So Cloud9 getting quite a composition here. Meteor sporting the Clarity Cleanse. A little Zen moment for him.
I actually do like Gragas over Sejuani for Cloud9, even though I see why Cloud9 were willing to give up the Sejuani here, because when you're facing the Urgot, you can actually attack Urgot fairly early in the game. And Gragas does give you a bit more pressure early on.
Well, there's the pickup, chat. You said the Janna, what would be the AD carry, and it looks like Piglet wants to try Ballista this game. 10 seconds to lock that in. It looks like it's what Team Liquid will stick with as Piglet looks to his left and right to confirm with the rest of his team and Peter.
So he's going with the shorter range this time around. But even if they do get to the point where they have a lead and they want to start sieging up, they do have Urgot poke under the turret. But the Cloud9, they do have that hard engage that they're looking for. I mean, if you can get a good Gragas ultimate and split up a team like this that relies on shields for your AD carry, Urgot can create the chaos needed to crack through, buff the AD carry composition.
It's a bit different than the last
them
game,
up.
though. Yeah, definitely try and split them up a bit. Maybe that's why he has Kalista to either get back or get out of those fights afterwards. I've never been a huge fan of Kalista against Maokai. If Maokai gets your click on him,
kind of click.
Then Hai could put damage from range.
There's the Braum. That was
Cloud9 just builds up their tank wall to go with double AD.
getting the shout from the crowd, and they do get the Braum.
Yeah.
That was the chant you were hearing as well. Haven't seen this too much from Lemonation this season, but he has brought it out.
Yeah, pretty much double AD versus double AD here with substantial front lines. The extra support for Team Liquid, though, rather than the guaranteed flank teleport that Cloud9 values so highly.
A lot of discussion.
I think a lot really does hinge on which mid laner does get the early lead this time around. Because Urgot can very quickly take over again.
Right.
If Urgot gets to the power point early with the tier already stacking up, transform that, and you can start building into the Frozen Heart, then it's really, really hard. Once he transforms to Muramana, the damage is going to spike through the roof.
Those Acid Hunters in the early game really going to affect Hai's spacing. We'll see what he can do in the mid lane. There is one last hug to the coaches as they make their way to the
What
back.
last? There could be another one.
There could be.
Hey,
That's right.
what are you doing? Don't sell me short.
That's right. It's game 4, not game 5 yet. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But now that you have seen the team comps, let us know who you think has the edge. Tweet either hashtag TOWin or hashtag C9Win at LOL Esports, and we will tally up those votes shortly. You can even vote from here in the studio. Whip out your phones, get those down. Also take all the pictures and selfies, as CB says, to put them on the social medias. We're going to be going into game 4 now. It's Team Liquid. Now on the blue side, Cloud9 coming from the red side as we enter game 4.
Very, very similar here, except for a bit more disengaged for Team Liquid and a bit more hard engage for Cloud9, which has pretty much been the story for these two teams.
The other thing that's been the story has been Sneaky carrying Cloud9 this year versus Piglet's resurgence as a big-time AD carry for them. And in all of these games this series, there has been a specific lead early game for one of the AD carries. Whoever takes the better jungle camp, whichever team has a better strategy from level 1 to get their bottom lane level 2 first, has typically come out ahead.
But chat, there are 4 AD carries in this game. So the mid lane,
Whole new ball game.
yeah, exactly.
now.
The mid lane, so mid and bottom, obviously. All right, so with the initial exchange there, Hai did get the advantage from his skill shot dodge on Phoenix. So early edge to Cloud9 in the mid lane.
Ooh, interesting. So both of those guys back. High goes for the potions of health, and it's going to be 2 mana pots for
The
Phoenix here.
potions
So
of
he
health.
definitely wants to go aggressive, shooting out all those acid hunters in the lane. It's going to be a nice advantage for him.
Wow.
Or
Again,
keep 'em safe.
both teams
They keep
with
calling the swaps.
Exactly. Both teams with the line of scrimmage wards, but both teams with the called swaps top. Let's see here. They're definitely going to start Gromp for Team Liquid. It looks like Sneaky's positioned at the Krugs, but
think he can
Lemonation's
take the small
making
Krug.
his way down to stop
Lemonation
instead.
might be trying to harass them off Gromp.
Can he stop it by himself?
He can stop them from doing Gromp.
Yeah.
But
Right?
Yeah,
the
but
time.
what does it cost though? Is not that much.
Yeah, this will
100
give this
100
gives
HP,
Cloud9
that's
a
it.
slight experience edge because Sneaky takes the small Krug and then runs to lane as long as he doesn't
He's
lose
down
too many
200
minions.
HP for that though on the 80 carry, and they're down HP on the.
How heavily do you value level 2 is the question. Cloud9, pretty highly. But if they're low in
Let's
health,
call it phone in Crepo here. Talk to us
Yeah.
about the Lucian level 2 power spike.
phone a friend.
Is it worth?
Can he even get it is the other question.
We'll have to see. Well, it's a telegraph when you come to lane, right? If you're going to have less health, then the other team knows they need to push to that level 2 since you have the advantage. And it looks like they may just even out here on this. A few more CS, and they're
I
going to
don't
get
think
it
they
first.
can get it.
No,
Yeah.
not a problem. It doesn't look like anything's really going to come of it with the amount of room they've given each other here in this
level
lane.
2
Dun, dun, dun.
success.
Ooh, that Howling Gale engage. You got to watch out for that. So just 3 minutes, a little bit of love taps from this top lane, which is the duo, as like you guys said, matched up again here. So we may see more pressure from the junglers in the mid.
Yeah, especially since Team Liquid with the Callista, they get the extra defensive vision of the sentries up and down. Piglet's already got 2 on patrol right now. So if Meteos makes his way up there, not only does he have to sneak his way past the sentries, but it's fairly easy for the top blue side here of Team Liquid to just ward that single spot and get that early warning system. All right.
Oh.
How good at Metal Gear Solid are you, Meteos?
Well, it saw the barrel, so
Yeah.
one can infer that Gragas is there.
You got lit up.
Oh, Quas. Giving Balls a hell of a time here in lane. Not going to be able to force the flash as he waits on that cooldown, but still pushing him out is going to cause for that teleport to be called back into lane. So won't need any pressure for Quas. This frees up Dominate a little bit, and we'll see where he puts his first aggression. Right now he's in base, picking up a Trailblazer as well as some wards.
Yeah, as far as the jungle matchup goes, the longer that I Will Dominate exists in a no-gank world, the better it is for him. Meteos, obviously, with Gragas, stronger early dueling and ganking properties. That's why Dominate's gone back to pick up some wards early on. But this is that Urgot vulnerability we talked about in Champ Select, and whether or not Meteos could make an early game count.
Yeah, I don't know how vulnerable he is though. Like in the middle of the lane there, it's actually an even exchange.
Wow.
Even though High
Oh.
was assisted.
He just won it.
If you go aggressive like that and you chase him off the minion wave, then it puts High right next to the ranged minions and the cannon minion. So,
Yep.
not a successful gank right
You
there.
can see Phoenix prioritize drinking both of those mana potions here, and he's kind of baiting High into this one. Dominate just over the edge. That's going to be the quick Valkyrie out.
Now, just burning a Valkyrie is actually a more effective gank with the increase in mana for that one
Yeah.
than the Gragas pass by. It's a trap that you fall into a lot of times as a jungler. If you're just in position and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to go for this gank. You try and force one. Not only can your mid laner take an unfavorable trade, but also it kind of gives them false confidence to stay up in the lane, and then oftentimes the second gank comes around from your opponent, and your mid laner's like, I lost all of my pressure. I thought I was ahead because I got the early gank.
When helping goes wrong. That's what it is. That false sense of security.
Super
easily
close
played
fan
into the
vote.
situations. Yeah, every game so far. We had the 45-55 vote the other time as well, even closer. And Cloud9 fans definitely getting behind them. As I said, they were cheering quite hard, even down 0-2 as they come out for the third game. So they still have momentum from their fans.
All right. So Meteos knows that there's a ward right here, so you can still commit and just run straight past the ward because he's got a Braum to set him up.
Good
Gets the
stick.
stun, another
they
stun.
do. Concussive blows into off that Winter's Bite onto Piglet. The flash, the hit, the kill, and it goes over to Sneaky for first blood. Couldn't have been better.
Expert Braum play right there from Lemonation. It actually would have been funny if we did call Crumple because that's one of his favorite moves for Braum. Talks about it all the time.
Flash Q because it's already there.
But
You just Q flash, and then you kill him. And that's basically what happened there. Piglet didn't want to burn his flash early, thinking he'd be able to escape level 6 power spikes.
Hello, that's
Can
the
he hit the
resistance
boss
is the
bomb?
Phoenix. A few more.
Boss bomb.
The mana's gone though. He's only got auto attacks left. Phoenix, can he do it? One last missile with the flash. Misses for High, and both of them get out by the skin of their teeth.
High still has heal, but he's low on mana here. Oh no, he has Ignite. Excuse me, I was looking at Sneaky.
Yeah, really close trade right there. Phoenix trying to use that Armored Magic Resist from the swap to outduel him, but was
Pressure.
unable to. Still with the early tier on Urgot though.
Whoa. Seeing low mana on balls here, figure he can get a bit more damage and that advantage in lane. And that's what we've seen both times we've been down here. Quas getting pushed out in a bit of a skirmish between, Balls getting pushed out by Quas in a bit of a skirmish.
Yeah, with that Lulu, early Chalice buy, really good laning experience versus Maokai.
Yeah.
With the magic resistance and constant glitter lance spam.
Hey man, the Thene's a lot nicer after that little buff it got. Going back towards it. A little bit of a support battle in the river as Meteos goes ahead and preps this blue buff.
So that first blood translated into a boots advantage for Sneaky. Plus, with the way that he has the lane positioned, this is actually going to be fairly difficult for Piglet returning to lane because Sneaky can just crop that minion wave and keep it at the turret.
Yeah.
They have a long lane to work with. He has the move speed advantage and double summoners burn from Piglet in the last fight. Lemonation still has flash. He can pull off that flash Q, the Q flash, excuse me, that we were talking about.
I mean, as Sneaky has gone in this series, Cloud9 has followed. When Sneaky is ahead, the team plays with a lot of confidence and has been able to make plays here. Piglet and the rest of Team Liquid is kind of been the same for him.
Love this pink ward buy here for the top lane. They know that they do have pressure now, and so they've got a pink ward in the tri-bush. Constantly keeps Team Liquid guessing, is Meteos going to return up here? Right now, though, he's not there.
Whoa.
And Dominate is the one who's level 6 and actually made his way to the top lane.
That was a sick dodge.
Dodge both the W from Lucian and the shot, and it's the pink ward here that would try to set up. They're waiting for Cloud9 to aggress there, maybe even hoping to get a gank.
Sneaky has to dodge this Sedge ult. If he use Relentless Pursuit
Pick's
forward,
getting a little bit aggressive here. You can almost
Showing it.
arise suspicion right there.
let's see if he shoots an Ardent Blaze into the brush. That would
Yeah, he should. He should scout it with something. Just the way Piglet postured at the end of that
Q?
wave.
There you go. Very heady
Sniffed
play.
it out.
I like how we have the Manor crowd, too. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything until it hit. Not giving anything away. Yeah, not giving anything away.
Whoa. All right.
Good form. Good form, guys.
Small CS leads in lanes. Phoenix with one of those leads because of moves like that over and over again. Just a bit of a lead on High. Nothing to write home about. But that lead for Sneaky doing very well. 81 to 66 in that lane. Kind of countered by Quas's advantage over Balls at 90 to 72. So coming out of this laning phase, I don't see too much of an advantage for either team with it being quite even.
What's kind of curious about this series is the number of times Meteos has tried to gank mid.
Yeah.
It's not a lane he ganks, generally speaking, throughout the entirety of the regular season. Cloud9 either ganks for Sneaky or for Balls, but this series, several failed ganks.
Here's the high roams, though, that we were waiting to see. This one looks like it will be
It's
rewarded.
on the wrong side of the lane here.
Yeah, was waiting for a few of the cooldowns so he could get through with the
advantage.
shield. The Whimsy goes through. Vengeful Maelstrom along with a bit of extra damage as it's picked up by the Twisted Advance of Balls.
High back to his old ways. Meteos able to gank mid, get High the lane pressure, shove the wave, roam down bottom. They actually pressure the lane that Balls is in for once. He actually got the killing blow on that too.
Yep.
Little bit suboptimal there, as they would really like to accelerate the Corki power spike. But Maokai, not too shabby himself.
Both flashes blown there in the bottom lane, so we may see a rinse and repeat coming in. Piglet taking some damage from the culling here on Sneaky. That's about
They
the
are really
Nice
pressured.
shoot,
Yeah.
Tex.
That's about the rest of the mana that he has, but they
could
now have
lose the
position.
turret here, actually. Just based on Piglet overstaying right there, hoping to hit an item breakpoint, but just sitting on 900 gold, now still running back to try and get later CS. Piglet does not want to base, but he's keeping himself in this really troublesome position in lane.
Looks like they may want to bait a fight in, seeing the low mana there, saying Sneaky's going to stay, maybe we can stay. Here comes Dominate.
Anytime you do have dual lane sitting around like that, it calls attention, should call attention of both junglers. Meteos just returned to base, though, to try and purchase his full Cinder Hulk with the Sight Stone. So Cloud9 should be communicating with him. Ooh.
Jeez,
That last shot might bait.
Oh!
Yeah.
What's going? Because Piglet Fate Call Special here. No, Special flashes forward. They still have the Fate's Call to keep the fight going. Are they going to use it on Lemon Nation? No. They decide to back off.
That was either a very subtle bait from Piglet standing there for the pass-through damage, or just very unfortunate for Cloud9, because having that actually go through and hit Piglet, I feel like was the last tick there that caused Sneaky to get baited and stick around.
And Piglet is still there.
Kill.
Call. Fate's Call. Whee! Yep.
And he timed it for the Grog Assault, too.
Fantastically played. Cool heads by the duo lane of Team Liquid. Definitely putting themselves near the top of the list for duo lanes. They were saying on the analyst desk, these guys have been showing up when it matters.
Yeah.
And answers my question. I said, will Team Liquid really figure out what happened, why this synergy happened coming into the playoffs? And it seems like they have a pretty right ideas how to keep it going.
Well, Phoenix in the mid lane. Remember, because of the early ganks in mid lane, both mid laners had to back very quickly as well. That actually benefits Urgot, because he got to pick up the tier right on the first back after the first ganks came through, and they both had to go back. So the tier was picked up very early for this Urgot in the mid lane. And he's been able to absorb all of the ganks that Meteos has thrown at him and come out with a CS lead.
He's actually stacked that 400 already, up towards 13 minutes, so it actually will be fully stacked quite quick.
Team Liquid does a really peculiar swap here. Piglet with the roam onto Balls, who they know has no flash.
Good eye on that.
Might just go for this.
The Rend, not enough to take him down. Oh! Help Pix! Help indeed! What a play from Quas to finish that one off.
Now for the Dragon.
Over. Now
gonna
the
be a
Dragon.
fight.
Indeed, and they are not going to be able to do this with Balls. One of the guys who needs to mitigate the damage coming in. Still starting it off well. Sneaky gets a good tag on some damage there, but it is still Team Liquid picking up the Dragon. No contest from Cloud9, and they're still coming in very slow here to continuously want this fight.
They're going to be flanking around here. Phoenix burned his flash.
Meteos has ult now.
They have the disengage. Fate's Call as well if they really need to even get out of something. Phoenix does not have any summoners or an ultimate. That's the hit of Glacial Fissure. Winter's Bite's going to lock him down in the concussive blows. And in that elongated chase, they do find one.
They burn Teleport, and they only get the kill trade out of it. So it was 1-for-1 kills. The Dragon went down. Well, they actually still have pressure bottom.
The turret will be the question here. If Cloud9 can go up 2 turrets to 0, it would be a pressure edge, which is the game
risky
had
dive.
been playing. It would be a risky dive as well.
Low health, low mana on a few members here, especially for Cloud9. But they still want, the minions are quite far off. I can't see them staying here for too much longer. Maybe 2 of them to finish off this turret. But Liquid holds strong for the time being. And it looks like Cloud9 is going to give off a bit of the pressure.
I actually like the rotation here from high to go up to the mid lane and try and shove that in before Phoenix can get back. See if he can actually get that damage on mid lane turret. No, he'll just leave it.
Really odd play by Phoenix in that fight. He flashed to swap high away from his own team. It actually allowed High an escape when he was collapsing down by the Dragon Pit. Maybe Team Liquid could have pulled something positive out of that, but once Phoenix burned all of his cooldowns for nothing, really, it made Team Liquid go on the retreat. When all is said and done, though, they didn't lose the turret, they did get the kill on the Balls, and they did control the Dragon.
And they didn't even have to use their teleport for it.
Right.
So, teleport advantage for Team Liquid.
Very tense game we have here.
Trying to get these wards cleared that were just put on their side.
Sweeper ran out.
Nope, not able to grab it. So that one goes to the side of Cloud9, hopefully being able to use that for another engage as they pressure this bottom turret a little bit more. It's going to be Sneaky and Lemon to try and finalize that one. Looking at how the lanes panned out, CS leads coming in for Team Liquid pretty much across the board except for that AD carry lane. And it's a good 40 CS at the top and 20 in the mid. Good damage from Phoenix onto High as he stacks that Muramana now out, so it's coming off his attacks as well. And that tier is only going to finish up faster. Now he's sitting on 548. Even before 20 minutes, he might have that Muramana.
That would be scary.
That would be so scary.
Talk about him
Power
getting
spike.
that early tier because of the prevalence of early ganks for them right now. Cloud9 does have that early turret lead, but because of the CS discrepancy, it's not giving them much of a gold lead. As far as being patient with a Lulu type composition, this is not, it doesn't play nearly the same way as Team Liquid's last team comp did, where they had the Psy on top with the Kog'Maw protection. This is a much more mobile, yet still shieldy team comp.
And much better here to have the Lulu in Quas's hand. This is not a Lulu that got denied in lane. This is a Lulu who bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just absolutely bullied the Maokai.
And that's with High coming down to kill him.
Nice. Still get the support. You're not hoping that Quas is going to provide a ton of damage, but now being up, I think he's going to be able to do that as well. 2 for 1 in that pickup since he's playing well this game. Looks like more pressure towards the bottom lane. A few ward clears here from Meteos, and he may continue that after they get the scuttle control here. He's going to go through the wall again and possibly try to come around the backside, or actually just go for it.
Well, Dominate's on his way down as well.
Great read.
Trying to mirror.
Or half a read. He didn't read it for that long. Now he needs to turn around. Fate's call plays it safe there, and Dominate will have enough time to clear wards now in the river, which Meteos just placed. Very back and forth as both teams are trying to find the next edge, because I think it's going to catapult one of these teams into the lead.
I'm actually kind of worried for Ball's ability to CS up in that top lane. No turrets left. He's got one pink ward to rely on. The only thing going for him, though, there's no wards for Quas to actually continue to try and shove. So without the deep vision here for Team Liquid, Quas remembers the last gank from High. Knows that he's a bit of a acidic duck there. The all-in from Maokai. Maokai is great at setting up ganks with the twisted advance, so he backs off, lets Balls actually shove the lane, and decide where to go from there. Looks like down the river.
It's a bit of a magnet here into the bottom lane. Sejuani would be here for a counter. You can tell Meteos kind of knows that. That's why he threw the barrel in but didn't jump over the wall. Game of chicken these junglers are playing, asking each other to show first and commit.
Well, they do have a minute, exactly 54 on both Dragon and Baron, as it ticks down together. And we'll see what jungler has the better coverage. Right now, Dominate, when he was clearing those wards, as Meteos ventured bottom, has the upper hand there, and it looks like you're going to get a little focus as well. That's going to be nice to keep clearing it, and it should be their Dragon. Right back for now.
It's really going to depend on who preps that first. There's pretty minimal ward coverage on that side of the jungle. Both top laners have teleport. Heavily depends on who is shopped at the right times. Piglet completed his Infinity Edge,
Phoenix
which is a very
at
unstandard Kalista build.
704.
Not quite in time for the Dragon.
Almost going to transform.
Just before 20. Dang.
And he's recalling.
They're kind of giving up Dragon pressure by this
Yeah.
recall timing.
Yeah, Dominate back now. Phoenix back here. It doesn't seem like they're putting too much priority on it, but at least maybe with the teleport and the fight being able to go long, it
Grenade
does
Force
give
comes
time.
ready to roll, so
Cloud9's down to tango right now.
Yep,
Yeah.
they are.
Phoenix in the base, so Team Liquid maybe just give this one up.
In the fight, Piglet got a bit of an eye there off of the ghost he sent out.
Now, what Team Liquid would like to do here is put enough pressure to actually force the teleport from Balls.
Right.
That would probably be as much as they want to get out of it, but they flirt around with the idea, not able to exert enough pressure.
They'd have to push mid.
Cloud9 are able to get away with the Dragon without burning the teleport.
Team Liquid caught between two different ideas there, trying to stop the Dragon versus trying to push mid. They had to push mid from the get-go. Cloud9 trying to make the rotation, and I think they might do it here.
They funnel up for a pretty good Sedge ulti. You can tell they're hesitant about walking and committing all the way to the secondary turret there, but Team Liquid do back off. Muramana should come up in the next couple of waves here for Phoenix.
Or in the next second.
There it is. Boom.
Next one wave.
Next spell.
So a huge burst for Phoenix. He doesn't even turn it on right away. He's kind of holding it, making sure he has mana if he does get engaged on. But he knows that power spike is there, calls it to the team. And we'll see if they try to act on this. Those teleports are still up for both sides. Looks like there may be some bottom love here.
The other thing that I do want to point out for this game, the adaptation Cloud9 have made, Balls this time is gone Rod of Ages, Maokai. This is the
Instead
time
of the Righteous
where
Glory.
he brings, and this is after a Righteous Glory game, so the surprising AoE magic damage that Maokai can bring is going to be there this time around for Cloud9.
I don't think Cloud9 wanted to fall into that trap
It's
of
still
not having
stacking
enough
up, though.
damage.
Yeah, it's only on 4 stacks right now, so it's going to be a while. Whoa!
Did not swap him in with turret aggro. So High is trying to make an escape.
I think he's cut off here.
Team Liquid has a few friends.
Wait. He pulls the back. He tries to give him the okie doke, but he cannot.
Should
They know
have
the
tried to
okey-doke.
kill a small wolf there. Grab
Get the CS, quick!
grab somebody.
Could have shot the wolves, figured out where everybody was sentry-wise. And,
That was just a really good
Yeah.
move from Phoenix, though.
good collapse by the team Liquid to get that one out on high. And right now they're still playing a bit of defense. Even off of that, they're not pushing off of their turrets just yet, rather. But a very close game at 32K apiece as the duo lanes again matched up and going head-to-head.
And the turret pressure is kind of remaining for Cloud9. They are putting a lot of damage on these outer Team Liquid turrets, and it also manifests in Sneaky's CS in this game. He is significantly ahead of Piglet. He's got almost 400 gold off of his Avarice Blade, which he bought very early, and is the only reason Cloud9 is even in gold at this point because of the gold the Avarice Blade has been accumulating. It's just such a close game. Gold, turrets, kills, dragons.
So a lot is going to depend on the skill shots from especially the junglers. These are two of the biggest effects for the team fight that is about to break out here. And they're actually both fairly easy to hit. The Gragas ultimate is a bit more difficult to pull off. And we've seen what happens when Sejuani ultimates go wide. So,
A whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, nothing happens. So definitely going to have to keep our eyes on the junglers here. A lot of pressure on their shoulders.
We also have to keep in mind of how much gold these guys will have in their inventories at any given time, because the back timings are very critical, especially when they're trying to keep turrets alive. For instance, Piglet really wants to finish what looks like a Blade of the Ruin King, I think, or would he be going for a Hurricane yet?
Yeah.
We're going to find out really soon,
Right.
since he's taken the turret, now has a window to go back to base. But it's both the item power spikes and when they're going back to deal with the turret pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold.
1,600 gold on 3 people.
Right.
So Team Liquid actually needs to make a couple of shopping trips before they can be as strong as Cloud9 currently is. There's 2 of them. Phoenix is the last one.
And with Cloud9 having high with the blue buff right now, he can keep up the pressure on Phoenix and try and keep him at the lane. You know, this turret's extremely low. They should probably keep pressuring that mid lane, try and deny him the back, and see if they can get the objective out of it. But they don't really call any extra members over, just Meteos hanging in the area, and I don't know if that's enough to break through, Janish spam shields on this turret.
Yep.
Especially leads though, this is Cloud9's chance. If they
that's a
push
free
hard, they can get that turret.
They might get
They pinged it, yeah, they're definitely going for it. Couple of turret pickups here.
Great
Pretty big
positioning.
influx of gold.
That's what happens, though, when Team Liquid sends people back to shop. All 3 of them shopped right there. Piglet shopped, lost a turret. Phoenix shopped, lost a turret. Now will you get something back? These are the things that can decide these super close games, is whether or not they have a way to rotate back up when people shop.
Cloud9 are actually almost at the point they can force it too, because the Rod of Ages, 7 stacks is fine for that. It's pretty good. He's almost ready to roll. The thing is, they might be waiting on Meteos to complete the Righteous Glory. That is a huge item for them, and it does guarantee a much easier Gragas ultimate to land, so they can split up the team, take somebody out before they really get to use the synergy of those shields and of the Janna reset. If they can kill someone before it special resets the fight, Cloud9 can chain that.
It almost does seem like they need, for Cloud9's perspective, a really clean initiation.
Well, because they do have Righteous Glory now.
And Quas has his death cap is the thing. So if Quas is in the right spot in a team fight, at this point in the game, I wonder if Cloud9 has the damage. Well, speaking of damage, Last Whisper completed onto Sneaky. These guys with really, really high farm numbers for this pace in the game.
Be a scary instance in this initiation. Right now, Sneaky 2-1-0, trying to be big. We heard Special saying that's the guy they need to shut down, so good focus on him.
They can actually pressure this really heavily.
Make the fights easier. This will definitely be a turret down for Team Liquid. They're able to pressure with 5 strong in the mid lane as Sneaky was farming in the top. 13 seconds on Dragon.
Ooh, this is something very important, though. Those wards are really deep for Cloud9. They can actually teleport in with the Twisted Advance behind. You really have to keep your eyes out. This is one of the reasons why Cloud9 always first pick the Maokai, because they can get those guaranteed flanks off of those deep wards.
Positioning here by Liquid for that Dragon. It does not look like Cloud9 wants to push through. It looks like they're going to kind of sit on the Baron side and say one or the other, but I don't know if there's enough damage there for them to do that.
It is about the catch.
Very tense.
It's the threat of the Baron. When Cloud9 does feel desperate in these games, oftentimes they will run for the Baron. It's paid off in some instances, it's backfired in others, but Team Liquid makes a distinctive move towards Dragon while Cloud9 goes Baron. It's going to be a close contest. They're really far behind of trying to run this one down is Team Liquid.
Able to crush it down. It's only 1,000 health on Baron. That's going to be Meteos as easily.
Disengage.
And I cannot see Phoenix getting what he wants on this one. Dominate goes in. He has not thrown out the ultimate yet. They are holding on to everything they have. Getting the special heal. Now they want it. It's on to Elimination. They're going to try to keep going for this one. Hits it. And Dominate is going strong. You can see Pete. He is standing on his feet, watching the team get the kills that they need. High goes down now. That's the initiation that Team Liquid needed, wanted. Fate's call. Special gets the Howling Gale. Elimination goes down now as Quas is going to be the other one to finalize that. And there is the excitement as Team Liquid pushes through on this fight. We were going to say whoever got it would get a huge advantage, and that might be Team Liquid.
Well, that's the thing, because they got the Baron. We've seen this trade before. Cloud9 will take a Baron and Team Liquid will take kills. It's all about what you can do afterwards.
Yeah.
The kills equalize the gold, but now the objectives can push them over the top.
I feel like there was a split second there, too. After Cloud9 finished the Baron, Balls actually postures forward instead of just trying to hightail it out of there. Maybe a little bit of moment of indecisiveness there for Cloud9. Let's see, though. They still have 1 Baron buff left. They have 2 Baron buff left. Excuse me.
Sneaky does a lot of damage, but they have to respect the Urgot. They don't take turrets after the Baron fight.
Not letting them back. They're going to try to get as much out of this as they can. And it's going to have to maybe be some home guard buys that gets Team Liquid back to save this turret.
These are the Baron minions, too. These are the people that kept the Baron buff.
Great job by Cloud9 to keep rushing down the mid lane, stopping Team Liquid from getting all the resources that they need off the fountain. Sneaky on the turret. Balls tries to route the backside here to make sure nobody can pressure. And Cloud9 makes moves knowing that they just got their backs against the wall, keeping themselves in the game nicely. So with the Baron pushing a little bit more on the sides, it looks like they save everything off of what could have been a push here from Team Liquid and now force back. Top turret is in their eyes.
Since Balls and Sneaky lived through that fight, they can still power these minions, and Team Liquid is caught playing catch-up here. Piglet pushing down the bottom wave, but will not be here when this wave meets the turret. They do have to respect the Sejuani ultimate, though, knowing that they lost the last team fight.
It was such a good schedule, too, by Dominate to hold on to that as long as he did.
Yeah, that is what Dominate is so good at. Remember the COD series, he held on to the entire fight for them to basically win this series on a Sejal.
We also saw the power of the shield spamming from Team Liquid. The reason he was able to hold on to his ult for so long, the health bar was not pressured because they were just spamming shields on the front line for so long. Let's take a look at it here. So, okay, so let's see if there is a window where they can possibly escape. I feel like right now if they speed boost off of the crab and run, if they pieced out right there, then they might have been able to run up the river.
What happens here, though, is Cloud9 has the Baron buff. If they ace a fight, they win the game.
True.
Cloud9 does like to go for home runs. That's where it all fell apart, though. Dominate finds 3. Phoenix swaps high backwards as well. And at this point, Piglet also had a little bit of indecision there, but he eventually turns around, tries to flash for more distance on the Fate's call, and Team Liquid does pick a few kills up on the backside.
I like Quas. He finished off high in the back lane, flashes over to get another kill as well. The Lulu doing a lot of work. This is not just there for the ultimate, there for peeling. Quas is taking kills.
You know, not your second support, Lulu. This
no.
Carry Lulu.
He bullied his lane, and he's picking up kills in the team fights.
That's the thing. I love when players look for the next kill instantly. You know you got one, go for the next one. It's coming up. And now with another needlessly large rod, he is going to be put out some power. Actually looks like he's buying himself a Zanya's to even be more of a nuisance here and can't die at all.
Oh,
Liquid pushing down the mid lane. He is so back and forth. Only about 500-700 gold separate these two teams right now.
So we're getting to the point in the game where this is the reason why people complain about Urgot so much. He's got the Mermind Transform, the
And he's
Frozen Heart,
fast.
and
Yep.
the Black Cleaver. He shreds everybody's armor, he pokes for days, and he won't run out of mana.
Plus, he's fast.
He's got 4 legs, man, skittering around like a...
Health
See how much
picks,
poke he can
or
get.
rather Whimsy making him very, very quick. And that 5 seconds could be the initiation to
Oh,
grab
right-
someone. Righteous Glory goes off.
They might be exposed to a Sedge ult from the side. It just depends on how willing Dominate is to throw it out.
Oh, man.
Very rarely does Owl Dominate actually like to initiate a fight with that, but instead use it in the midst of a battle.
So I feel like the Righteous Glory is best used for Meteos to get in position to punish Phoenix for positioning so far forward like that. When Phoenix postures ahead of the entire team, if you can cast and you knock him forward, the rest of the team back, that's the window that Cloud9 are looking for. I feel like that was the pop of the Righteous Glory right there. It wasn't just for the face slamming engage. He's looking for a good Gragas ultimate.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is even after Cloud9 took that Baron and lost the kills and pushed the turret, it is Team Liquid who is dictating where this game goes. Cloud9 is very respectful of Team Liquid's poke right now, and Team Liquid is in position to be able to take this Dragon number 3. Cloud9 is kind of acceptant of the fact that Team Liquid hit some very important power spikes, and because of Quas's Lulu, has an immense amount of power in these team fights until Sneaky can get to a point where he can slice through those shields. When he gets Blade of the Ruin King, it gets closer to that. That's when they were able to do it last game against the Kog'Maw team, and that might be where Cloud9 has to do it yet again.
Well, we can definitely see that the Lulu works for Team Liquid, but last game, the audible call did not make that happen. This time, everything working out for Team Liquid and Cloud9, and that is going to be the swap onto High. He is now focused by Dominate, but Phoenix is also getting the hit. Nice Monsoon, but it pushes Cloud9 actually towards Phoenix a little bit more. He tries to stay alive. Meteos should take him down. Now the focus is onto Expectral. He's left way too far in the middle.
Meteos can't finish him!
And everybody gets out. You're right. He
Run,
can't.
fat boy, run!
Just get out of here. He's going to try to do his damnedest. Oh, misses the body slam. If only his belly was a bit bigger. That's going to be the hit. It's going to take a lot to drop Phoenix on this one. And Team Liquid now pushing a little bit towards that Dragon area. Quas can't do much for his teammate.
All of Phoenix's troubles, and he just gives Cloud9 the kill on the person they want right there. Cloud9 finding a fight while Quas was off pushing, and they could not formate the right team fight. Looks like Cloud9 takes this Dragon.
They really want that game 4, and it's looking better and better.
Man, all team,
5, I should say.
every single
game,
this game 4.
single Team Liquid fan is getting a little antsy now. Reverse sweeps are very, very, very sad for a team to experience one time,
Twice, though.
but getting flashbacks here. Now, once again, though, the Righteous Glory. This is why it's such a. Not only does it combine with Cinderhulk so well with the increased health that it gives after the buff, but that guaranteed engage where he can position himself right in Phoenix's face for that cask.
And that last fight was actually forced because Quas was off split pushing and TP'd in late. Well, now Quas was out dealing with the minion wave, and he doesn't even have teleport. Cloud9 rushing onto this Baron, trying to force Team Liquid into them. Quas is very fast, though. Lulu moves quickly. They're all here.
Sneaky has Blade. They're going to rip through it.
Man, they know exactly where everyone's coming from. A 5v5 right outside of Baron. This could be the one to really turn the tide of the game. Very low health bars for C9, but the finalizing kills are now coming up for them. And that's going to be 1 down. Phoenix falls to the ground. That's Lemon Nation down, but 2 more fall on Team Liquid's side. Quas is taking a culling to the backside, but the full culling cannot strike. And he stays alive with Piglet, enough to maybe thwart and keep poking at Cloud9, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Oh, and Sneaky with the elevation advantage in that fight, jumped up onto the ramparts, up over that cliff, and was still able to constantly DPS the front line there. Really well played team fight from Cloud9. Let's see what they get back. Empowered recalls, they do lose that on one turret, though.
Couple team fights in a row now, Cloud9 has been able to win, and a lot of it just has to do with how well they're playing them. Watch the ultimate from Meteos' Gragas after Phoenix swaps. It's what Kobe talked about before. He swaps in, now that they're in danger, throw out the Gragas ultimate and knock everyone back. 3 of the main damage dealers get pushed back, buying critical time for Sneaky to use that ramp over the top of the wall and rain damage down.
Yep.
Delays the fight just long enough for the re-engage from Cloud9, and they take it cleanly.
In the world of the point-and-click hard CC tanks,
It's the skill shot.
disengage, right? Disengage is, they're so few and far between. There's basically Janna and Gragas, right?
Yeah.
Meteos really, really carrying that team fight. All of Cloud9 coming together, though. They get off Baron just in time, regroup right after. Game 5.
Game 5.
It's headed that way, boys.
Very much so. The biggest,
And girls.
The biggest gold lead we've seen here coming in this game is in favor of Cloud9 now as they start to put their foot down. Locket's finished up as well for them. Looking for even more defense. Lemonation's going to get himself a frozen heart as well. And they are almost going to be unstoppable in these fights. They're just completely rolling over the HP bars and alone of Team Liquid.
And High very strong right now, able to cut through, almost forcing Team Liquid to try an initiation right here against this Baron buff team. Piglet's Callista has not been able to cut through these tanks in the slightest, despite going as DPS heavy as a build as he can for single targets. This is dire situation in Game 4 here for Team Liquid. We are on pace for a 5th and deciding match. See if Team Liquid can withstand these Corki missiles.
Yeah, they're poking through the nerfed shield of the side lane secondary turrets here. Not as big as before, but that is a massive shield provided by Janna and Lulu.
So level 16 on Phoenix as well extends the range of his position reverser. He might catch someone off guard and get a longer range position reverser than they expect. High has to respect that 800 plus range ultimate from Urgot.
Yeah, Phoenix is getting some poke of his own down. Yes.
Better than the coach shot, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wonder who that guy was rooting for. Couldn't quite tell.
Quas now to clear the top lane. Yeah, a little bit of
Wave
control,
management.
but they can't do much to the bottom. They do have to try and get that wave management down, and it's starting to cost them greatly across the map. Minute 45 onto Dragon. Now an easy back here from Cloud9 to get a textbook control of that as they come back out.
Speaking of catching people off guard with the position reverser, QSS finished on Sneaky now. That's huge for Cloud9. He got the 4 main DPS items completed first. Now he has the QSS for either a good Sejuani ultimate from Dominate or the position reverser.
Even if he just gets polymorphed, being able to get back on the field as quickly as possible.
Let's just go ahead.
That covers them all. No
Let's
reason
just go
to
ahead
mention
and say it.
anymore of the CCs. Oh, that's a great catch.
Meteos, not where he wants to be. Quas is already on that side. Should be able to get that slow in. Not a lot. Only providing a few hundred per glitter lance. The rest of the team, though, they got enough. Pulls it in. Phoenix able to grab that kill. And now some objectives may be pressured with 49 seconds down on Meteos.
That is a great catch, but talking about minion wave, control here. They haven't really been able to push any out. Dragon's not going to be up for a while. So really what Team Liquid should spend this time doing is getting down preparation for the next objective. Vision around this Dragon so they can create the team fight that they need, try and get a Sedgel in one of these corridors maybe, force Cloud9 to have to fight through the fog of war.
Yeah. Well, with the way that Meteos' death timer is working, the Dragon will be up before he can lend support to that objective.
So they will just give it up then. There will be no face checking today, or there shouldn't be.
Interesting magic penetration build by High as well. Realizing the Corki scales on multiple metrics, goes Void Staff. He was building towards this in his last Corki game as well. It's not the Luden's Echo Corki that we're used to, but maybe that'll be his last item.
It's like, what? Corki needs armor penetration? Yes. Corki needs magic penetration? Check. Got them all right.
Just needs that brutalizer so he has flat armor penetration.
What kind of damage do I deal?
All of it.
All kinds. Ooh, interesting move here. The top wave, that should be a turret for Cloud9.
Quas keeps
even
a little bit late on those split pushes.
Even with, a member not on the field here, Cloud9 are able to turn a free Dragon into a trade.
Well, they're trying for an initiation. They know Gragas isn't there.
Cancel?
Whoa, he went all the way in.
It does not cancel.
No, he says, leave me here, I'm a tree. But I think he's going down there. Nobody even wants to enter this fight, except for Meteos.
Whoa,
Meteos is here. The Monsoon blows him apart. We also got the Quicksilver Sash to try and save Sneaky on that one. And it looks like they are going deep on this one, guys. Right into the face of Team Liquid. Dominate's going back and forth. He can't do much in the fight. He's just trying to be a presence. And that's going to cost him his life with the Ignite coming in from High. That's a takedown there. Xpecial's going to take a few shots here. here. Winter's Bite locks him down, and that is going to be enough for a double kill on High and the inhibitors to start going down.
Balls knew what he was doing the whole time. The delayed teleport was nothing but a bait. We're going to game 5.
That was such an amazing initiation. What a false sense of security given to Team Liquid there by that teleport. Going into 5 people, Balls comes out valiantly and still alive somehow from that situation. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 games for Team Liquid. Then Cloud9 brings 2 of their own to the table, and we got a game 5.
All right, I need to go to the restroom. You guys don't start without me, okay? This is getting really, really tense.
If you've been watching since the beginning of the LCS broadcast today, you've seen a lot of games.
This
European game goes 5. This one heads to 5.
This series is almost like Cloud9's story, this split condensed. Oh, they're back. Oh, never mind, they're not back. Oh, they're back. Oh, never mind, they're not back. Hey, they're back again. Game 5. Let's see if they're actually going to make it to the final.
This time for sure they're back, Riv.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, what a dominating first 2 games from these guys. Team Liquid, who are taking a bit of hiatus from the stage to go discuss another loss now. But for the first 2 games, so clean to come through like they had Cloud9's number. And then it seems like the champion select in game 3 got in their head. In game 4, it was on the rift where Cloud9 did it that time.
Here's the strangest thing, is Cloud9 started off the series with the same 3 bans, right? The Lulu, the Urgot, and the...
They started off with
They'll
the same 3
eventually
bands.
work.
Yeah. And then they just keep giving Team Liquid the champions back. Cloud9 gave Team Liquid 2 of the champions they banned in the first game, and they're continuing to beat them. If we're seeing an evolution of the series, do we know which 3 champions they're letting through for Team Liquid to pick this last game?
So one thing I don't think that Cloud9 are going to let through is Azir.
That would,
Good point.
I think that one's going to stay banned.
Might get a Lulu ban as well, a little too strong for Quas there onto that one. Huge lead over Balls in lane. I think that's the biggest kind of lane difference we've actually had coming in to this series. We've come out of laning phase like 1.5 thousand, maybe 700 gold to one of the teams, but that was huge. And the biggest gold lead that game for Cloud9 as they started to win.
Unfortunately for Team Liquid, they couldn't make that count. Yeah. As fed as Quas was, the one fight at the Dragon Pit, he was late teleporting in. It seemed like they were a little bit late to the party the entire game, and Cloud9 was one step faster on all of their map movements.
I mean, the game-changing ults from the junglers did not disappoint. Both junglers hit some team fight winning ultimates there. Meteos had just more of them, right? This Gragas ultimate, he uses it for the disengage. The best way to tank is to not take any damage at all. You knock away all the DPS. They're not doing damage for a couple of seconds while they're not there.
Got to remember that one. All right, we're going to game 5 now, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead to see what our analysts make of Cloud9 series tying win.
Thank you, Riv. Series time. We're going to game 5.
Yep.
I mean, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys are excited. We're all wrong, but we're excited, which is great. Let's break this down. First, let's talk about the fact that C9 drops the Urgot ban.
Yeah.
They pick Corki into it, and it plays pretty well, right? I wouldn't say it was like an overwhelming, win for High in the mid lane, but it plays pretty well, and that's got to bode well for them going into Champion Select in Game 5 here, knowing that they can drop that and still keep that Azir ban, which kind of threw them for such a loop in Game 2.
Yeah, I actually want to see Team Liquid finally make adaptations. Chat was talking about it in picks and ban, or he's talking about the ban specifically after the game, saying, well, C9 just keeps loosening it up. Like, you know what? You can have Urgot. You can have Lulu. Oh, we're still beating this. This is great. I want to see Team Liquid adapt. I understand the plan of their bans. They're banning the carry top laners. They're banning the carry junglers. Well, guess what? The tank tops, the tank junglers are working anyway. How about you start pressuring High again, right? You saw what happened when High got outlaned. Phoenix hard carried the team. I want to see this stressed again. This is one of the cleanest wins that Team Liquid had, was when they got to win the mid lane matchup. I want to see them emphasize this.
And I actually like what Team Liquid's doing. What C9's doing with pressuring the lane that Sneaky's in once again. And then Meteos, every time he had a free moment, he'd show up middle. And Dom did put some pressure middle, but Meteos and him basically showed up at the same time every time from that mid lane.
And they put balls on that Maokai. He plays it well, that point-and-click target tank. We saw in that last fight there.
Oh
my goodness. That's those attack speed runes there doing work, right? Just heal after heal after heal. And yeah, it does seem that this top lane tank for him is working out. So they're okay now. Cloud9 has found a little comfort in not having to put him on a carry. They can put that weight onto Ball's shoulder, get high on something that he can make a little bit of an impact with. And Meteos, too, with the playmaking abilities from the Gragas ult and things like that. You see Cloud9 on your screen right here, tying it up 2-2. I mean, what is this conversation like right now? You're going into Game 5. There's a lot of hype around this. How do you get I mean, in terms of what you're going to do, right, in terms of picks and bans is one thing. How you're going to keep your emotions in check is another. And then how you're going to execute mechanically is a third. I mean, there's so much pressure on this game right now. They've never not made a finals.
Well, Zion touched on it before. Momentum is huge. Cloud9 just won the last 2 games back-to-back. They're coming into this full swing. They're very confident. And also, they're blue side right now, so they can actually drop their Hecarim ban. They can pick that up first pick. They've shown that if they leave Sejuani, Lulu, Urgot open, they have answers to it. So Cloud9's conversation's probably a lot more optimistic right now than Liquid's.
Yeah, I have to wonder then, and Zion, I'm going to throw this to you. When we look over on Liquid's side, do they just get rid of that Corki? Or do they pick it in their first rotation, rather? If they give up the Hecarim, do they just get rid of that Corki? Because as Freak mentioned, maybe the trick is getting high onto an uncomfortable champion and setting up a good matchup for Phoenix in the mid lane.
Well, I think like the 2 winning formulas for C9 this whole series has been get high on that comfort champion where he can pressure and be relevant. And that's Corki right now. I think Corki is his best champion right now. And Team Liquid should not let him get that champion. And another thing that's happening is there's that fight between like the bottom lanes, like Sneaky and Lemon and Piglet and Xpecial, and it's which jungler can pressure more. And you're seeing Meteos just come out on top and getting the ganks off, getting Sneaky rolling, and it's really paying off. And you're seeing them snowball the game from that bottom lane advantage, while High is just on that consistent mid laner, Corki, who's so hard to push out.
Yeah, and I think actually there is a lot of onus on Team Liquid to get ahead in lanes, because C9, to their credit, have managed to keep their heads clear throughout the series. Their shot calling has largely been very strong. Their overall map plays, they're just a little bit faster. They're a little bit ahead of Team Liquid over and over again. They're constantly creating pressure. Right, those Baron plays are really tough calls, and yet all those Baron calls have been right. Every single C9 Baron call, they got Baron. They more or less get out cleanly. They could have chosen to get out of the fight sooner, but like every single Baron call has been good. C9 are sharp, and they're making good calls.
They're very crisp, too, because
Yes.
the Baron, Team Liquid shows up like 2-3 seconds afterwards.
Yes.
It's just so quick, and the fact that everybody's respecting the shot call and going for it immediately.
We've got Liquid on your screen here. Let's kind of touch on maybe
Yeah.
what their conversation is like in response to this clean C9 rotation.
Right, so what I was going for here is the onus is on Team Liquid to win in their lanes. They need to get these matchups that are good. They need to say, look, you know what? Like you're seeing the early AD carry picks, right? Like the Lucian first round for C9 last game. You're seeing him getting Corki. Yes, tax highest champion pool, remove his comfort champions here, make these lanes go well, because when you go to the mid-game rotational play, if you're not outclassing them composition-wise, it's not going to be good for Team Liquid.
Zion,
Find the lanes.
CLG, one of the other teams that is praised for their rotational game, their ability to win games without having to take too many fights. Cloud9 has clearly illustrated that they can do the same thing. So Team Liquid here, is this a warding issue? When we talk about these Baron calls, you actually mentioned that C9 loves to do this. Every time a team goes for Dragon when you're about 25, 30 minutes of the game, C9 will just put the pressure on the Baron. How do you avoid that?
Well, I mean, that's always a strategy C9 goes for, where it's like, oh, when the 3rd dragon is up, like, let's just go for Baron. And I feel like C9 as a whole, their communication is just better than Team Liquid's. Like, they've been a team for like 3 years. I mean, they're down 0-2. Everybody's like, is C9 just going to lose again? Are they going to get 3-0'd for the first time? But no, they just came back because they're a team that's kept the same roster for 2 years. And they just work so well together, and you really see that coming out.
So you just saw Dominate on your screen talking quite a bit, and I think we have to look to him as one of the players on this team. We talk so often about how emotionally charged he is, and that he's an emotional player, right? When things are going well, he gets hyped, he gets pumped, and that kind of, emanates from him to his teammates, and they perform better as a team. I think a lot's going to be riding on both him and Xpecial as 2 of the veterans and 2 of the more emotionally charged players to really get their team rolling here in this 5th game.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the dynamic of Team Liquid right now, because, again, Mark told me this in the morning. He's like, yeah, if we win game 1, the mental block is gone. We feel like we can beat Team Liquid here. Sorry, we feel like we can beat C9. And I was like, okay, the big leaders for that are Piglet and Phoenix. And they were, right? Game 1 and 2 were carried by Piglet and Phoenix, respectively. And then you start falling back, and you're right, it comes down to the veterans here, like, guys, come on, we know we can do this. And this is now the new mental block for Team Liquid, by the way, is we did this last split. We did the 2-0 to 0-3. Like, here's the new mental block of, are you guys going to choke in Game 5 again?
Right. And this, so yeah, it's kind of like familiar territory for Team Liquid, but it's unfamiliar territory for C9 still. I mean, they are fighting their way back from this 0-2 deficit. Again, I'm speaking in terms of the NALCS. As we know, they've gone to Worlds and played 5-game series there.
Well, they played 5 in the finals as well last time against TSM.
Yeah, starting down 0-2, though, in the semifinals is not a position they've ever been in.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, regardless, when we look at C9, right, they're in territory that is a little bit unfamiliar to them, but they're on their way back. Momentum's in their favor here, right? So let's look at what they need to do. Like, we so often say, Zion, you were mentioning that you kind of do what works until the other team beats it. Are you willing to risk it all there on the 5th game that you just repeat the same strategy? Or do you feel like Game 5 asks for something special?
I feel like they might change something up, but I feel like Team Liquid is a team that does not play very well when like the momentum is not on their side. Like I think Piglet, Dom, and Phoenix are all very emotional players, and I feel like this Game 5 is going to be really rough for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
All right.
You could even see in the body language there, that's a lot of things that have changed very rapidly. Before they were very confident. There you could see a lot of uncertainty, a lot of second guessing going on there in the body language.
I think momentum is kind of the name of the game here, and whether or not these players can get themselves mentally prepared for this 5th game. The series is all tied up, and when we come back, we'll learn who will advance to the playoff finals with the all-important Game 5 between Cloud9 and Team Liquid. The action continues in just 3.5.
We got this shit. We can come back.
I have faith in the light. I mean, if we win 2 more games, it's like nothing ever happened.
Wait, what do you mean come back? In our last game, we are undefeated.
Okay.
Nice ult.
Okay. Koroki. I got it. You can go. Jana go here. Flash. Go.
Nice monsoon, but it pushes Cloud9 actually towards Phoenix a little bit more. He tries to stay alive. Meteo should take him down.
Are
we getting Sejuani?
We have to peel,
Yo, I got Urgot.
Kill Urgot. Get him. Sejuani. I'm going. Jana.
He says, leave me here, I'm a tree. But I think he's going down there. Nobody even wants to enter this fight, except for Meteos. Whoa, Meteos is here. 2 games for Team Liquid. Then Cloud9 brings 2 of their own to the table, and we got a Game 5.